It's time for another lager face-off. This time, the Italian giants. Birra Moretti against Birra Mapelli. Similar names, and they are trying to be the same beer. But which one's better? The proper one or the Aldi knockoff? Keep on watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to be doing a lager face-off. Birra Moretti. Everyone knows Birra Moretti. Authentic Italian lager. Founded in 1859 and still brewed today with traditional recipe. So this is the real McCoy, as it were. And then this is Aldi's version of it. This one's called Birra Mapelli Premium Lager. So they're pretty much, this is obviously a knockoff of this, similar to the one we did. If you've seen, there's a video, I'll link it in the up here somewhere. The Peroni versus the Rossini, which were two, which was Rossini's Aldi's versions of Peroni. So Aldi also do this one here, and I will be doing a San Miguel versus San Marco, which is the San Miguel version. But this is today's one, the Italian one. So what do we know about these beers? Well, Birra Moretti, most people have probably had this in their life. It seems to be, there was a time where Peroni suddenly became a lot more of a sort of premium lager on tap in pubs, but now you see much more of Birra Moretti in pubs. So it's probably a beer that everyone's had at one point or other. This is a full-bodied golden beer. It says 4.6%. It's in a 660ml bottle. And to be honest, there's not huge amounts of difference in prices. I mean, this one was about £1.39, I think it was. And this one was about, this one I bought actually as part of a deal, 3 for £5. So, worked out about 175. So, but there's not huge amounts in it, even though this is the knockoff. There isn't huge amounts in it, maybe 50p or so in terms of the difference. So not masses in. So it's probably going to be down to taste in terms of which one you prefer. The obvious choice would this one would be better, but obviously we need to crack them both open and see whether they look the same, smell the same, and all importantly taste the same. They're both 4.6%, so there shouldn't be that much difference with them. So let's pour them out first and see how they look in the glass. Well, straight away you can see, I mean, I can certainly see quite a bit of a difference between these. Move these out of the way a little bit. So the Birra Moretti, if you put it up closer, you can see it's a light, your typical sort of lager, 2 fingers, soapy, sort of just off white head, lots of carbonation going up the glass there. But then this one here, you can see there's definitely a slightly darker colour to it. The head is not as much retained. You've only got like a 1 finger of head that's going quite quickly. And I'd say the carbonation is higher on that one. So first, in terms of the looks, I certainly think that the Moretti is doing well. Let's just top that up just in case it is the head. I mean, even then, topping it up, you're not getting huge amounts of a head there. So in terms of the looks alone, the Birra Moretti, the authentic one, is definitely winning at this rate. But let's see what they smell like. Yeah, I mean, obviously, in terms of smelling these sort of beers, you're getting that strong malty, slightly sort of cracker. There's a slight sweetness in it, but not that much. Yeah, I mean, the Mapelli sort of smells similar. I'd probably say it's a little more subdued, I'd say. So let's see what the taste is like. I mean, straight away looking at them, it doesn't look as appealing than Mapelli, but we'll go straight in with the Moretti. It's light. It is quite malty for a beer. It's probably a bit more malty than, say, if you're looking for a Birra Moretti or, say, a Peroni. I think the Peroni is much more cleaner in terms of its taste, but the Moretti's definitely got more of a sort of stronger malt profile. And there is that little cracker bread sort of crackery sort of taste in there. And I wouldn't say there's, and again, I wouldn't say as much. You get a slightly bit more citrus, I think, in the Peroni. But let's see what the Mapelli is like compared to the Moretti. It's definitely sweeter and less malty, and it tastes less like a premium product than the Moretti. I've got to admit, when I did the Rossini versus the Peroni, I think it was very, very close. But with this, it's not very close. I think that the Moretti is definitely the better beer. It tastes fizzier. You get more of that sort of you can get the almost like the little bit of that sort of bottled beer taste to it. It doesn't taste as clean. It's got this slight more sweetness that isn't quite as right, and it's nowhere near as yeah, it's nowhere near as malty as the real McCoy. It's definitely got a much more sweeter sort of flavour, a little bit more artificial. And definitely much more carbonated, a lot more fizzier. And it's not as good. I mean, it says premium lager made with German and Austrian barley malt. I wonder if that's what this one says. It says it's full-bodied golden beer, but it doesn't. It's obviously got those sort of ingredients in, but it doesn't say whether they are. You know, you'd think that they'd be traditional Italian ingredients, where these are coming. This ingredients is coming, even though it's Italian premium lager, it's made with German and Austrian barley malt. It's definitely quite different, and definitely, in my opinion, the Moretti is definitely streets ahead of the Mapelli. You know, I think if you have them on your own, you wouldn't really know. But I mean, just looking at them in a glass, you can see how much better that pours out. And the head is much better. It just looks it's a better quality product. Looks and flavour definitely better. So if you want to save 50p, then go for the Aldi one. But if you want to spend, you know, just a little bit more, you might as well. I would go for this one. As I said 50p. I think this one was I'm sure this is like 139 or 129, and this I bought 3 for a £5. So that works out at what, 170, 166 each. However, even though this is cheaper, this has actually got another 160ml, almost like a quarter, a fifth more. So, in fact, more than a fifth, probably about a quarter more. So it probably is about 20 or 30p more. Definitely worth paying for it. So if you like Italian lager, go for the authentic Birra Moretti. Give this one a bit of a wide berth. This is the Birra Mapelli. You can just see by the looks of them. I'll just show them up again. You can see which one looks the better, and it definitely tastes the better. So if you like your Italian pilsners, Birra Moretti is the one for you. Hope you've enjoyed this face-off. Well, what do you think? Have you had both of these? Is there are you finding a bigger difference as I am with these? As I said, the Rossini versus Peroni, there wasn't much difference, but there's a huge difference between these two, and the real McCoy definitely comes up on top. So, be interested to see what the San Miguel versus the San Marcos really whether there's much difference between them, but definitely on this case, this is the winner. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and until the next one, keep on rocking.